Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Listen. Remember the last time you got completely immersed in a film? Dimmed lights, a story set in a world far, far away, and a classic case of escapism. But sometimes the story is set in our very own world. A young musician set out on his bike in the middle of the night, and as the city finally goes to sleep, he gets ready to be awoken.
भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीताला मार्गी संगीत उगीच नाही म्हणत.
The Disciple is the tale of an Indian classical vocalist, Sharad Nerulkar, searching for the traditional absolute in a contemporary city. He's on his own journey, one that is inward, one that requires him to peep into his soul, question his core beliefs, and find his own truth. For a medium that works on the guiding principles of show, don't tell, visualizing the interior state of a character comes with its own sets of challenges. So today, we're looking at the portrayal of self-discovery in cinema and how Chaitanya Tamhane manages to depict that in The Disciple. There are some things common to every hero's journey. Inciting event. Initial resistance. Overcoming fears. Altering experience. And acceptance. So what is it that makes each story different? Every narrative has its own nuances. Think of the story as the main ingredient. And now, think of all the beautiful things you could do with it. Wild, right? The way a director decides to treat a story becomes crucial when it comes to saying the unsaid. And it reflects in the littlest of things, like the simple act of placing a character. Where we see someone inside the four corners of our screen and with who we see them sets up a great deal of context. It's almost like composing a painting, but a dynamic one. Framed in the middle of wilderness, it can reflect an open mind. Framed across multiple mirrors, it can reflect self-doubt. Framed in the background, it can reflect the long road ahead for the character to become worthy enough to be in the foreground. Now couple this with a slight track-in and it starts feeling like you're slowly peeping into the character's soul. Tamhane uses these subtle camera movements through the course of the film to peek into character motivation. For example, this low-angle following shot that we see again and again reflects Sharad's devotion to honing his art. But at the same time, he's not afraid of letting the camera simply roll, capturing the raw essence of not just characters, but entire systems through long static shots. Why is this so captivating? Characters moving in and out of frame in real time instills a sense of mundanity, but what makes it intriguing is the point of view from which it's portrayed. Sometimes, we see things unfold from a distance almost like an outsider.
Tell me what's happening!
While others, we're put right in the middle of action, making us experience things from a character's lens. Tamhane carefully chooses these visual cues to separate the two chapters in his film, like using different lenses, changing the color palette, and a literal transformation in the protagonist. These choices are conscious and they affect the way our mind perceives information. But our mind is not convinced by visuals alone. Let's go back to where we started. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Listen. Pure, persistent, faithful. Unsettling, chaotic, daunting. What we hear and what we don't plays a key role in shaping our perspective. And that's where a good sound design comes in. Let's break down this scene for example. A single note strummed on the tanpura evokes a whole range of emotions. Now layer that with the voice of a figure almost divine.
सामोरं जायला खूप धाडस लागतं कारण सत्य हे बऱ्याचदा
Now break the flow and bring people back to reality.
जोपर्यंत तुमच्या संगीतात
Tamhane is able to build up a meditative state and shake our expectations within seconds. Filmmakers carefully choose what their characters say and how they say it. But what happens when music becomes a character of its own? A simple tune can make you relive an entire film. Sometimes it works as a recurring theme, making people connect scenes with one another. And sometimes it brings out contrast, making people compare scenes with one another. Tamhane uses these contradictions to portray Sharad's insecurities. His choice of art form, the khayal, literally reflects an artist's state of mind, and he marries that with his careful choice of ragas. While cinema often uses art as a medium of self-expression, portraying the nuances of one art form using another is difficult, to say the least. But when a film leaves you rooting for a character you've never met, you know something has gone right. For us, Tamhane strikes all the right chords for reasons one too many. So tell us what we missed out and comment with your favorite films that portray self-discovery.